Greetings, welcome to Total War Warhammer with Ross Algar, and today we're going to take a look at the new downloadable content with the Beastmen faction. I've just logged in here and you can see now we've actually got two different campaigns. The traditional campaign, which features all of the normal races, and besides the Chaos, of course, and the Beastmen, and then the Eye for an Eye campaign, which is solely playable by the Beastmen. Now, back in the downloadable content, or if you did not download content with the recent update, rather, uh, in the Empire faction, you actually did now get a Amber Wizard. Now, we'll take a look at the Amber Wizard a little later, but for now, we're going to go ahead and focus on the Chaos Warriors and their Beastmen. Now, the Beastmen are a Chaos faction. There are a few differences here. Let's take a look at their race mechanics. They have horde armies in close proximity. They will not suffer from infighting. Now, this was true of the Chaos Warriors. If you had two hordes within proximity of each other, they would infight and there would be attrition as a result. That doesn't happen here with your horde armies. They have rage penalties for any positive diplomacy conducted. There is a settlement ban. Pretty much they can't have any kind of settlements. They're pretty much on the go. Their ability, their buildings, and their military prowess are determined by the individual beastmen in the horde, and we'll take a look at that here in a minute. Now, they do, like with the other Chaos factions, and the Chaos Warriors and the orcs and goblins and what have you, they do show corruption. Excuse me, orcs and goblins do not spawn corruption. I'm thinking of the vampire counts. But they spread into enemy territory and it can cause problems with public order. Now, there are two main objectives. You can either do a major campaign victory, in which you have to destroy the city of Karabug and the Cult of Uruk, and you have to earn the following from raiding, which is 10,000 gold, and you have to ensure that Boris Todbringer is in a wounded state. The ultimate campaign victory, where you have to defeat Hochland, Karabug, the Cult of Uruk, and Middenheim. You have to have two factions join the Confederation of the Beastmen, and you have to earn 15,000 gold from raiding. And then you ensure Boris Todbringer is in a wounded state. Well, what's going on between them and Boris Todbringer? And that's a great question. The whole premise of this particular campaign is that the leader of the Beastmen, sometime in the past, had a fight with Boris Todbringer and his army, in which Boris Todbringer took out one of his eyes. And so there's this bitter rivalry between these two. So as player of the Beastmen, your goal is to seek revenge against Boris Todbringer at Middenheim. Now, what's different between this faction and the others? Quite a bit. Now, your playstyle, you're going to have a confederation option with other Beastmen, and you can be merged with the Kazarak's war herd via diplomacy. Now, Kazarak is actually the name of your leader, alright? An aggressive unit roster with a variety of beasts and monsters, and strong diplomatic penalties with almost all factions, and you cannot trade. Your primary source of income is going to come from raiding. So let's go ahead and now take a look at the actual campaign. Here is Kazarak, that is the top general in your army. And if you want to go ahead and read that here, it just describes the bitter rivalry between Kazarak and Boris Todbringer. And with this particular faction leader, you have a powerful melee fighter and a powerful leader. And he can unlock a ferocious Razor chariot mount, which we probably won't get to see initially. That's something we'd have to work towards. But our starting units are going to include monstrous infantry that do armor-piercing damage, and they can move through forests easily. And Centaurs, which are shielded. They're very fast, and they can Vanguard deployment. Vanguard deployment, when you start out, is really going to be the epitome of your tactics is to envelop your enemy. So let's go ahead and start the campaign here. Let's go ahead and watch the cinematic. And the rivalry begins. Now, one of the interesting things about this particular faction, when I was reading the comments, is apparently there's a lot of displeasure. Again, this is one of the download contents that have recently come out, but there's still quite a bit of mixed feeling towards it. The chief complaint is that for $18.99 that the download content is too high, and that it only focuses on the Beastmen as far as a playable faction. Aside from that, the other complaint is that there's not a full unit roster. Now, basically what they mean by that is that in the game you don't have all the units available that are available in the Warhammer tabletop miniature board game. I can actually see that, but I don't think that's a detriment. I've played through a couple of games with this. You're going to have a fun time with the Beastmen. If you're a Beastmen lover from the tabletop miniatures game, you might be a little disappointed that some of your favorite units are not in there. However, you're still going to enjoy this. Some of that, price points, it's good for some people. I found it fairly inexpensive compared to other downloadable content, which is anywhere normally from $30 to $40. And we're getting an overview of the actual area of the battle. And you should recognize some of this from my previous videos. The one notable difference is that you're going to be primarily in the forest that is just west of Reichland. Okay, if you're done talking, please, I would like to finish. Thank you, Kazrak. Oh my goodness. Too much talk, not enough action. So as I was saying, you will notice the actual area. We get our first quest here, which is destroy the following: Karlberg, faction. Now, this is actually Midland. Carrollburg, of course, is part of Midland. There it is. And over here, of course, we would have our city of Reichland. Now, you notice there are a couple cities here, little villages that are dotted throughout this map that in the previous game were not there. Of course, here's the coast. And our particular army, which is right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Oh, for God's sakes, will you shut up? Alright, so we've got our units. Here's Kazrak the One-Eye himself. He's listed as a sword infantry, he's armored, and he's a melee expert. Let's go ahead and take a look at our choices here as far as our character build. We have the Primal Rage tree. Now, this is primarily if you're going to focus on him being a melee combatant. We get a +2 melee attack to start, a devastating charge bonus of +6, thick-skinned armor +3, primal instincts melee defense +2, hatred of men melee attacks +2. So pretty much if you've focused on your melee, you understand this. Then we've got the presence of more sleeve, which you get leadership of bonuses. Character aura +5. You get a charge bonus of +3 for Ungor units. Now, Ungor units, we'll take a look at those in a moment. Those are pretty much your standard units in your Beastmen. Your vigor loss reduction is small for your Lord's army. Your leadership of the Raucous Host provides a melee attack +3 for your Ungor Herd and Ungor Spearmen and Herd units. The Unrelenting Savagery charge bonus +3 for cavalry units. And then from there, you get the idea. Those are bonuses for units and leadership. And then we have our what is usually what the primary mover or campaign movement. If you remember the Empire, this is called Gargantuan Hooves. You have a +10% to your movement. Feasting upon man, you get income from raiding of +3%. You're blessed by evil. Oh, that's kind of scary. Upkeep of -3% for all your units in your Lord's army. Recruitment's down by 3% as well. Your Dark Apothecary. Your attrition less at 3%. Casualties suffered from all units from attrition. The enemy siege holdout time is -1. And then your next is the Unholy Resilience tree with a wounded recovery -1. So you get an idea basically on this where you want to go. Now, the one thing with Beastmen is that you're not going to get a mount. The only mount that you're going to have to earn towards is the Mount Razorgor, or Razorgor, I guess that's correct, Mount Razorgor Chariot, which we're not going to see at this point in time. But we do also have we have a quest. We have the quest for the Scourge, and we have the Dark Mail quest, and then we also have do some bonus areas here. Once we get a Bestial Cunning, you have chance for spotting nearby foreign armies of +7%, ambush of +8, ambush of defensive +8. Now, that's going to be significant, and we'll point that out here in a little bit. So you might want to keep that one in mind, because that'll be great for this particular faction. We have Crown of Horns, which is available once you have 7 slots filled. You have a character or a leadership effect of +2 and a leadership of +2. Shadow Hide, you get missile resistance of 10%. Slug Skin, which you can actually build on that. You start with a +6%, and then you can go another +6, another +13, and a weapon strike of +20. That's fantastic. So you want to bear that one in mind too. And then you've got Rune of the True Beast. Defensive bonus starting at +2, then goes to +5, finally at +9. So actually, this is a great melee combatant, and you want to use ambush to the best of your ability. Now, let's take a look at the individual units. Here we have our Gore Herd. Alright, these are your Vanguard Axe Infantry. Use them accordingly. You have Ungor Herds with shields, so they can stalk. Now, what's stalking? This unit can move hidden in any terrain. So that is going to be key to how you deploy this unit. It's a Vanguard unit, and it can hide anywhere. So Your tactics are ambush and surprise strikes, hit and run, fade tactics, ambush style guerrilla warfare. That's the Beastmen. Okay? Then you've got your central units, your Ungor Spearman Herd. Now, what's an Ungor, you ask? Well, aside from the fact that it's anti-large and provides bonuses against cavalry charges or other large units, and they do have a percentage, the Ungor are basically your rank and file average beastmen. They're beastmen that don't have horns. And we're going to trying to pull up the encyclopedia. Here we go. It's taking a little bit of time here. And here's a little bit of history on them. If you're interested in that, all of that is accessible in game. Basically what you do, click on the unit and you right click, and then it all comes up. And then you can either get how actually detailed statistics, and it goes into a little more detail here. Your abilities are primal fury. You have charge defense. You can hide in the forest. It's anti-large. And it also tells you what building needs to be built in order to unlock that. Alright, so those are your spearmen. We have missile units. We have Unguard Raiders. Again, missile infantry that stalks and is a vanguard unit. So bear in mind, that's how you want to use them. Then you've got your Cendagors, which are your fast cavalry. They're shielded, and again, vanguard unit. And then the Minotaurs in the game, these are your heavy-hitting infantry units, the shock infantry. These are armor-piercing, and there's no forest penalty. You can move them through forest, and they will not lose their speed. So, those are your starting units. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at you got your objectives. Let's take a look at your technologies. Now, your technologies is completely around the tribe and your movement. There's no buildings per se that you, well, let me rephrase that. There's no physical location settlement that you actually do it. It's very similar in the Chaos Warriors, is that your buildings move with you, basically. So, depending where you want to start here, you could either start with leadership bonus against humans. You're going to be fighting humans primarily. You can have Grizzly Trophies, which unlocks this particular path. You get Evasion Chance. Heart of the Dark will provide you leadership for Lords and Heroes. The Path to War recruitment is minus 33%. The second part of that is Horde Growth and Horde Encampment. Now, take a very long look at these. I'm not going to take the time to go over every single one of these, but there's also this one over here that you can start right away that builds towards the Embrace of Chaos. Here you gain Chaos bonuses and research at 20%. Chaos Corruption +1 for all characters. Same thing here. So it keeps building on each other. But you notice it's going to cost you a little bit of, I guess that's coin. I'm not sure what that is, little icon there in the is supposed to be, but that's your money, which is right here. So it is going to be expensive. So if you start that, it is going to cost you. However, these, however, initially will not cost you, but as you move on, unlocking these will cost you a little bit. Now, when I started, I wanted to improve, since my primary source of income is from raiding, I want to unlock that. Like, it'll give me a plus 15% on raiding after 7 turns, and it's researched. So let's take a look at our faction summary. Okay, we're currently getting plus 997. Haven't really done anything else. What do we want to do? Diplomacy, we're not even going to mess with that. Nobody wants to talk to us, basically. Let's take a look at movement. Now, your primary stance is the Beastman ambush. And this gives you a chance to ambushing any enemy army this force attacks, okay? Look at that movement range. It's not bad. So you're in an ambush stance quite a bit. Now, in the Empire faction, if you were in an ambush stance, you had a limited amount of movement. You couldn't move all the way over here to Oslo, for example, and attack it. But we could if we wanted to. Now, let's look at the others. There is the use the beast paths. Now, if you remember in the Empire video, the forest, there were certain parts of the forest where I couldn't get into. This allows me to move through the forest quite a bit. Now let's take a look. Look at that highlighted area. Let's go ahead and take a look again. The ambush stance. All right, and then the beast path stance. We can move through more difficult areas and remain undetected for the most part. And it'd be a great way to outflank a movement army and set up an ambush. Something to keep up in mind. Now, then we have our raiding stance. This is where we're going to generate our income. We grow bestial rage. Our growth is -5 in the raided province for the enemy, and then immune, or is that for us? I think that's for us. And then we're also immune to attrition. So there's our raiding stance. Hidden encampment, beastman ambush. Then we've got our encampment stance. Now this is the stance you will go into when you recruit units, in which you're immune to and you're hidden until discovered. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to our ambush stance. And let's see, this is a fortified town. Carolburg faction, Caden. Let's see here. What do we want to do? Well, let's take a look at our buildings. Now, again, these moved with us because we don't ever have a city to go in. Alright, so presently we have the Ancient Blood Grounds, which provide +2 recruitment capacity, a +1 corruption in the local province, and a +1 horde growth. You can upgrade that to a hag tree copse. We could also go ahead and expand this either to a military recruitment or advanced military units, but the advanced military units don't become available until we've spent 5,000 and need a growth population surplus of 4. Let's take a look at this a little closer here. So we currently have a population surplus of 5. Now I could go ahead and increase this by 1 and then get the den, and they can get Chaos Warhounds, which will probably, those will probably be my first 2 moves. Let's go ahead and do that and that. Now if you notice, there's really not a lot of the way in blocking. We're not going to get into any support units or advanced military recruitment until later on. Support units are going to come at rank 2 once that's completed, in which I'll have a amount of blades, which that's really expensive, but that's not bad. +5 armor, +5 melee attacks. And then initially we're going to gain the there. So that's another turn coming yet. I don't want to recruit just yet, because all I'd have available are the Unger Spearmen and the Unger Raiders. So you notice that recruitment's initially a little slower than what the Empire was. Why am I in that? I guess because I'm building already? Huh. Well, if that's the case, then I might as well go ahead and then add, let's see. Let's add another unit of raiders. And I'm now out of money. Okay. That's it for this turn. And the call to arms has gone out. Joel V. Helborg is the principal enemy.
I will not obey.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's take a look. Let's see. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That, yeah, that's too close. Alright, let's move out of our ambush stance. Let's see where the road goes here. Let's go ahead and attack the city of Eslo for our purposes here. Oh, this is going to be a slaughter. Let's go ahead and fight this manually. And then I'll demonstrate the how you actually want to use your vanguard units. So we're primarily up against spearmen and swordsmen. There's no enemy artillery. There's no enemy missile units. This is going to be a slaughter. Okay, we're in our battle deployment now. And I'm going to show you how you actually use vanguard units here. Now, remember we've got... Oh, let's see, they're not a vanguard unit. They are... And they are... Let's see, the center... Okay, let's see. We'll go ahead and group... Oh, what happened to the spearmen? I wonder... That's alright. I think what we'll do is... Can't remember if these guys are vanguard or not. Yeah, okay. So we'll take these axemen and this missile unit. We will group these two together. And we're going to go over here. Because I can expect the Empire to be right in there. So let's go ahead over here. We've got, if you notice these lines, this is area restricted solely for the enemy faction. This in space here you can't use, but between the border and here is where you can place those units. So that's what we're going to do. So if I try to move my cursor up there, it's X'd out. I can't put them in, but I can definitely put them in here. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I want to turn them so that... Oh, that's annoying. So that they're facing inward. Alright, so he's in the trees. And alright, he's okay. He's hidden. So there's one. Come back over here. I'm going to take him, and we're going to take this other missile unit. We're going to make them a group, and we're going to go over here. Actually, let's go ahead and... We got cavalry. Let's go ahead and put the... There we go. Add them in, and we're going to... We're going to set them up right over here. I'm going to overlap them a little bit. And then our...
Course.
Mix them up in there. There we go. So, alright, we've got the flanks now. We're going to attack them on two flanks. Ambush them, and let's take, this will be the rest of our group here. Alright, group these up. Okay, so let's put one unit of spearmen here. And, there we go, make them about 5 deep or so. Then I put the other unit of spearmen here. Let's get them out of the way initially. 5 deep. Alright. Then we're going to have them here. We're going to have our Minotaurs on the flank. And we're going to put our general right smack dab in the middle here. Let's move these guys over just a little bit. And him over here a little bit this way. There we go. A little forward. A little more forward. There. We got everybody in there now. There we are. Go ahead and group them. We're going to start the battle. See how they're yet. Now, I'm going to immediately start moving them forward to about there. I'm going to start moving, double timing these units to, what is going on here? To over here. And we're going to start moving these units, fast forwarding them over right about there. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Now you see you start starting to react. Don't want to use them just yet. Let's see what he's doing here. Alright. Yeah, you guys are doomed. They're not in position yet.
Dark beasts.
Okay. Now. There we go. Oh god, that's fantastic. Look at him break. Victory! Alright, let's go ahead and end the battle. So, as you can see, your strengths in your Beastmen are your ability to outflank and outmaneuver your enemy at the start of the battle. So, your tactics are going to be ambush, lay and wait for them to come by, envelopment, and what have you. So you have some pretty potent units, and 5 units of Empire with 3 spearmen and 2 swordsmen in support can actually be a pretty tough unit to crack. Now, if they had had a few more units of artillery or even missile units, this battle would be a lot closer. But as you can see, you're going to start off with the advantage right away. It's going to take some time for the Empire, although it's only going to take a few turns. So you want to bear that in mind, that they're going to be able to mount up an effective counterattack. So you want to hit the settlements right away, in my opinion, um, and then single out each individual army. Now, bear in mind, you're going to need to be raiding to gain income, and you're going to be looting these areas that you have in order to have any chance to withstand an ongoing campaign. But overall, we only took 75 losses out of 1,153 deployed against 600, so we had almost twice as many, and they suffered 282. So you want to bear that in mind. Use your units effectively. Use your shock tactics. Get around the sides and the flanks of your enemy right away, both strategically on the map on the large scale and then on a small scale, unit per unit, to gain the advantage. Yeah, I'm waiting for the battle to unload. Now, if I have any complaint about Total War Warhammer, it's how long these load and unload times go. So here's the decisive victory. We've gained 280 loot from the captives. We've gained a rank. Didn't get any treasure, but that's alright. Now, I didn't point this out. This is the unruly bar. The more we fight, the more we get towards the bestial rage. And the higher we go up, the more likely we'll spawn an allied faction of beastmen that'll attack with us. And that's key when it comes to not suffering any horde penalties. The lower it goes, the less likely we're going to get that. And you can see there's actually inactivity and military defeats will cause your warhead bestial rage to drop, leading to infighting. So the more we're fighting and winning, the better off we're going to be. Alright, and this is keep bestial rage high by winning battles or adopting the raiding stance. Alright? So, what do we do with this town? We've got a decisive victory. Raze and defile it. Alright, while buildings are destroyed, their shrines are defiled, and the settlements torched. We gain +8 horde growth, and chaos corruption is +100 in the local region. And that only lasts for one turn. Or, we can loot and raise, in which we'll gain 770 loot for ourselves. So right now, I think we need loot more than anything, so let's go ahead and loot and raise. Alright. Now, whatever happened to our other... Alright, we've gone down in the overall income, so we want to do what we can to correct that here. Let's go ahead at this point. Do we have any movement left? We don't. Okay, we're going to need to end the turn. Oh, we forgot about our character point. Okay, so... movement, rage, well, we'll probably find him in battle here pretty soon, so we'll do primal rage. Alright, that's our turn. Winds of Magic have moved. Now, I'm going to go into the raid stance here. What's this? And let's go ahead and move our unit over here. Our ambush chance is 40%. I don't see where I'm going to gain anything. Well, plus 85, there it is. Yeah, that'll help. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Alright, here we go. They're on the move. Now, we've got a dark choice. The ruinous powers take grim pleasure in your endeavors. In their dark mirth, they grant a boon. Which of their gifts will you choose? You can go Gorbel. We get a hero recruited. Or you can go the Bray Shaman. The hero recruited to Kazrak, the one-eyed the Bray Shaman. Kazrak, the one-eyed Gorbel. Harnessing Gorbel's destructive nature is the obvious choice. The great weird moon Morsleeb hangs low. We are incensed. What do the chaos gods whisper? The dark machinations. Do they plot? The Bray Shaman will surely reveal these secrets to us. I think we could use some magic. Let's go with the Bray Shaman. Yeah, you're welcome. Whatever that was. You do and you clean it up. Okay, so now we got a Bray Shaman. Let's take a look at him. The Bray Shaman. Here we go. Embedded hero, assault unit assistance, magical interference, damage, building, corruption. Scouting, block army, and damaged buildings are locked out yet. Let's go ahead and see if we can't use him. To assault a unit. Oh, fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Now, let's see. We can go Proponent, which is Horde Buildings, construction cost is minus 15. Or we can go Zap right away for Assassination Chance bonus. Now, that's interesting, that I could jump ahead like that with him. Or we can go with Spirit Leech. That'll probably be useful later.
Not likely.
Okay, so he's repairing.
No. Kazrak Abba. Kazrak Azagui.
Can I take him? Oh, he's not in range. Darn. Alright. And the turn. Did they merge? They have not. Okay, I think what I'm going to do here from this point on is put myself into a raiding stance. But I'm going to move him over this way so I can remain undetected.
Shoba.
And let's see here.
What was Raphaelos? Rarugun.
Alright, we did good. Okay, because that's where we were earlier. Let's go ahead and get back into the ambush stance. That's interesting. dealing with here now.
By Sigma, no! Zero chaos.
So there's 6.
I'll ignore that.
And there's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I hit him, I'd have to do it really fast. Let's go ahead and move into the raiding stance. Move back in over here.
Cosmic show.
Alright, I'd gain 129. And let's see here. We got 2 more turns till we've got technology up. Let's go ahead and only available in the canvas stance. Are we even repairing? No. Can I move into the encampment stance? No, that's the ambush stance.
Sigma forbids this.
Alright, let's go ahead and try one more unit. Yeah, my assassinate chance is not that good. We're doing alright with this though. Let's go ahead and injure another. Golly, we're just racking it up here. Aspect of the Dread Knight. Pulsate leadership can cause terror. So the benefit of doing this is actually I'm building up my shaman here for combat. Okay, I need to see about building up our units here. Here he comes. Oh, we should have. Are they overlapped?
Left us. Not likely. Sladawas.
Oh yeah, we want to try that.
Doom.
And he's gained another rank. Soul Blight. It's an area effect. Oh god, that's good.
Kazrak Dawakun. Que axo Lexai. As me.
Let's keep... Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good at all. I have been outplayed. Okay, let's go ahead and retreat. And they're beginning to pursue. No, now I'm going to have to fight him. Doggone it. Well, you can see where you can make a mistake real easy. Let's go ahead and pause the video on this. This will be a good time to click. And then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the battle once we're done. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Maybe I'll get out of this situation. Maybe I won't. But you're going to have to wait and see in the meantime. So thanks for watching. This is Total War Warhammer with the Chaos faction on the Eye for an Eye campaign. This is Ross Algar, and have a great day.